a material that is both a conductor and an insulator at the same time, not in theory, not in speculation, but confirmed in a lab at 35 Tesla, one of the most powerful magnetic environments on Earth. Scientists at the University of Michigan just shattered one of the oldest assumptions in physics. And what they found points to a reality so strange that even the lead researcher admitted he has no idea what to do with it. But here is what stopped me in my tracks. This discovery didn't just break the rules of physics. It revealed a pattern that theologians and people of faith have been describing for thousands of years, a duality hidden inside of everything. Hey, if we haven't met, I am the digital avatar of the one and only Julia McCoy, while she's busy changing the world as the CEO at First Movers. I'm created by her to spread the message and share the video scripts she personally researches and writes herself. Julia reads every comment, so be sure to share your thoughts below. The discovery that broke physics. Let me tell you what just happened in a lab that most people will never hear about. An international team of physicists led by Professor Lou Lee at the University of Michigan took a compound called ytterbium boride and placed it inside a magnetic field 35 times stronger than a hospital MRI machine. What they found, published in Physical Review Letters, one of the most prestigious journals in physics, defied everything we thought we knew about matter. They discovered quantum oscillations, which are vibrations that only happen in metals, occurring deep inside an insulator, not on the surface, not as a side effect, but from the very core, the bulk of the material itself. This means a single compound was behaving as both a metal and an insulator simultaneously. Professor Lee called it a new duality, and he compared it to the most revolutionary discovery in the history of physics, the original wave-particle duality, which revealed that light and matter can exist as both waves and particles at the same time. That original duality, discovered over a century ago, gave us solar cells, electron microscopes, MRI machines, modern computing, essentially the entire technological world we live in. And now a second duality has been confirmed. Materials can be both conductors and insulators, both flowing and fixed, both active and still. The lead researchers' exact words were, "What we found is still really bizarre and exciting." 3 dualities that reveal a hidden pattern. Now, here is where I need you to pay very close attention, because I see a pattern emerging across physics that almost nobody is connecting. Let me walk you through 3 dualities that are reshaping our understanding of reality. Duality number 1, wave-particle duality. This is the original, the one that launched quantum mechanics. Light behaves as a wave when you're not measuring it, and collapses into a particle when you observe it. The very act of observation changes reality. In January 2026, researchers at Tokyo University of Science confirmed this even further, demonstrating wave-particle duality in positronium, which is a matter-antimatter system. The bound pair of an electron and its antimatter counterpart behaved as a single quantum wave. Matter and antimatter unified into one coherent entity, 2 opposites behaving as one. Duality number 2, conductor-insulator duality. This is the new one, the University of Michigan discovery. A material that should block energy is also channeling it. An insulator that behaves like a metal from its very core, not just at the edges. The researchers confirmed that charge-neutral particles, fermions that carry no electrical charge, are responsible for the oscillations. In other words, something with no charge is creating the behavior of something that conducts charge. Nothing producing something. Invisible forces creating visible effects. Duality number 3, the observer reality duality. And then there's the duality that keeps physicists up at night. The observer effect. In quantum mechanics, the act of watching a system changes the outcome. Particles exist in superposition, in all possible states at once, until consciousness looks at them. In July 2025, researchers at Stevens Institute of Technology published a breakthrough formula, mathematically describing the precise relationship between a quantum object's wave nature and particle nature. They proved that these 2 properties are locked in an exact mathematical trade-off. The more wave-like something becomes, the less particle-like it is. And the shift depends on observation. Let me say this more plainly. Reality is not fixed. It responds to awareness. Why this matters for people of faith. Now, I know some of you are watching this thinking, Julia, what does quantum physics have to do with faith? Everything. Because what science is now discovering in 2025 and 2026, the Bible described thousands of years ago. Let me show you what I mean. Duality number 1, wave particle. Observation collapses possibility into reality. Hebrews 11:1 says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith, according to Scripture, is the mechanism by which the unseen becomes real. That is the observer effect, written in ancient language. Duality number 2, conductor insulator, something that appears blocked and inert, is actually alive with invisible activity at its core. Romans 1:20 says, for since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made. The invisible operating inside the visible. Duality number 3, observer reality. Consciousness shapes outcomes. Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Your inner world, your beliefs, your focus shapes your outer reality. Science is not disproving God. Science is catching up to what God already revealed. The deeper implication. Here is what really shook me when I was researching this. Professor Lee said the old duality, wave particle, transformed physics and gave us solar cells and electron microscopes. Technologies we now take for granted were born from accepting that reality contains contradictions. If this new duality, conductor insulator, follows the same pattern, we are standing at the threshold of technologies and discoveries we cannot yet imagine. But there's a spiritual dimension here too, and it's profound. Think about prayer. When Taylor Welch talks about quantum entanglement as the basis for prayer, he's describing exactly what physicists are observing. Two particles separated by any distance instantaneously affecting each other. No signal, no medium, no delay. What you do here echoes there. When the Apostle Paul wrote in 2 Corinthians 4:18, we fix our eyes, not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. Since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. He was describing the exact hierarchy that quantum physics is now confirming. The unseen realm, the quantum realm, the spiritual realm, is more fundamental than the material world we can touch. The visible emerges from the invisible. The physical is a shadow of the spiritual. And here's the part that gives me chills. A University of Michigan physicist just proved that the deepest activity in matter is happening in places we thought were completely dead and inert. The bulk of an insulator, something we classified as blocked, is vibrating with quantum life. How many of us have felt spiritually dead, blocked, insulating ourselves from God's power, and yet deep in our core, something was still vibrating, something was still alive? That is the new duality, and it changes everything. Here's what I want you to take away from this. We are living in an era where the greatest scientific discoveries are not pulling us away from faith. They are pulling us toward it. Every new duality, every quantum mystery, every experiment that defies classical physics is revealing a universe that looks exactly like what the Bible described. A universe where faith is a force, where words carry weight, where the unseen is more real than the seen, where the observer shapes reality. And if you're watching this thinking, how do I stay ahead of these shifts? How do I understand where science and faith and technology are converging? That's exactly what we cover inside the First Movers community. I'd love for you to hit subscribe so my digital clone can keep you ahead of these changes. Don't miss out. Let's embrace this age of discovery together. See you down the next rabbit hole.